college, and you just have an amazing journey throughout your life. And if things go down, don't ever give up, and love yourself, and just be the best of yourself. Thank you.
Hello? All right, there it is. How you doing, Jeremy?
Good, good.
Good, man. Good. Question for you. What is your philosophy or value that you hold dearest in your life?
Thank you for the question. Well, for me, the number one thing I hold dear in my life is work ethic. I think that it's a value that we all should have. It's not just about how much you succeed, it's how hard you work in your life. I just think that us as humans, if we try our best all the time, we always have to give it our all. It's never about if we win or if we lose or none of that matters at the end of the day. It matters is how much you learn from your experiences you have, how much dedication you have to your passions, your craft, anything in life. It's ultimately just about how much effort you give, and if you give 110% all the time, your life will be pretty great. Thank you.
Fantastic. How about yourself? I'm hanging in there. All right, let's see what we got here. It's a nice chain. She's like Simon Cowell.
Hi, Kameron.
Hello. How you doing today? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm doing well.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I can't complain.
Well, my question for you is, how would you help bridge the gap between Filipinos and Americans that we as FACT are trying to fill?
I appreciate your question. Can I have a second real quick? I appreciate it. I think one of the easiest ways and one of the best ways is through the stomach. Everybody says that you can find somebody's heart through the stomach. We seem to bond as humans the most through each other's food, and that's the best way to share each other's cultures. It's really hard to say because FACT does such a great job of integrating both culture and social events at VCU. But other than that, I say food 100%. How you feeling, Christian?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm still hanging in there. All right, let's see what you got here.
Mr. Chris?
Mr. Chris.
Hey Christian, good job so far, man. So my question for you is, how do you think this pageant has affected you personally and as a PAC member?
Thank you for the question. May I take a moment to compose my answer, please?
Of course, man.
Thank you.
I love you, Chris.
Before I answer, I would like to thank Dayana and Janelle for picking me to be a contestant in their pageant. You guys have put together such an amazing pageant, and I'm honored to be a part of it. This pageant has really pushed my boundaries as a person. Back in high school, I used to be an actor, so being on stage isn't something new to me, but being myself on stage, that is completely foreign territory, and it was terrifying at first. But through this pageant, I feel like I've really grown in my charisma and my stage presence, which is really amazing. And I've been able to express myself even more. And it's been incredible. Thank you.
My stomach feels a little funny. Hopefully this will make it feel better. Let's see what we got.
Let's go, Joe!
Ooh. Miss Nerissa Lumban.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you tonight?
Pretty good. Other than the stomach thing. Don't worry about it.
I have another question for you, don't worry. So, if you did not win this pageant, who would you want to win and why?
Thank you for the question, judges. This is easy. I gotta give it to Christian Santos over there. That is my queen. Christian Santos, we share blood. I've known him since high school. He's been one of my closest friends since then. I missed you so much last year. He's family to me. It's been amazing doing this journey with him. Made it so much more comfortable around this group of amazing fellows back here. It's been a journey, and I'm really thankful to be here. And I'm really thankful for you.
It's like sticky sticked. I'm sorry. Oh, Mr. Robert Onyes.
Let's go, Jay! Okay, how are you?
How you doing tonight, Dayana?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Here's my question for you. If you were a judge for this pageant, what qualities would you look for in the winner?
Thank you for the question. If I was a judge for this pageant, I think I would look for 3 main qualities: perseverance, performance, and all around cooperation. Perseverance in the sense that there's a lot of obstacles that happen between pageants and events. I'm a dancer, so I've been through a lot where people have gotten hurt for performances and they've injured themselves and they freak out because they don't think that they can do it. But I feel like a lot of it is getting past that mental state of being afraid of what's going on and pushing through. I had the flu earlier this week, and here I am on stage because I decided to persevere and push through because I love that. Thank you. For cooperation, if you can't work with the people you are performing with and doing things with, then there's no point for you to be there. Fact is all about cooperation and being a family and being friends. So we need to love each other because at the end of the day, all we have is each other. And lastly, performance. This is a pageant, you know, toddlers and tiaras. You want to make people have fun. People came out here to be entertained and also to see what you can put on the stage for them. So being able to perform and give your all, I think is a huge thing. Thank you.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Your dress is beautiful, just like you. So, what would you say is your best trait and how has it served you in the pageant?
Thank you for the question. Can I have a second to think about this? I believe my best trait is something that I most recently picked up. It's not something I've had for a long time, and that's definitely willingness to step out of my comfort zone. I remember when Dayana and John L. called me 2 weeks ago, and they asked me if I wanted to join Pageant last minute, and I didn't really know what to say when they first asked me. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a big question to ask and a big commitment to make in such short time, but I am so thankful that I said yes, and I had friends who convinced me to say yes. They were sitting right next to me, they were like, Catherine, say yes. And I impulsively did, and I'm so grateful that I did because Pageant has been such an amazing time. Meeting all these people and getting to know them and getting to know the social chairs. It's been such a nice time, and also just dancing on stage is something that I never would have done a year ago. And standing up here talking in front of all of you is something I never would have done a year ago. And so stepping out of my comfort zone and being willing to try new things has definitely been the biggest factor in everything I've done in this pageant. Thank you. Robert?
Good evening, Nadia. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Good to hear. My question for you is, if you can get one message out to the world, what would it be?
Thank you for the question. I think that one thing that I would say to the world is give compassion. And the reason why I say this is because there is so much hatred in the world, whether that's racism, whether that's misogyny, whether that's homophobia, whether that's Islamophobia. I think if people were a little bit more open-minded and a little less selfish, I think that this world would be a better place. but that's my opinion. Thank you. Mr. Robert Bunyan.
Hello, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, how are you?
Doing great. Here's my question for you. Who is the most influential person in your life and why?
Thank you for the question. As the ate of three sisters, a lot of people assume that I always have to take the role as the role model or the example. But two people who have influenced my life more than I can say for almost anyone are my two little sisters, who are the strongest girls I know. And I'm so proud of the people that they've become. They've watched me at my lowest points, through my biggest mistakes. I definitely make a lot of mistakes, especially around them. And despite all of that, they're always there for me and to support me. And technically it is their role as my sisters. They're forced to be with me, but they're not forced to spend all night when I'm nervous for a test or when I'm crying about something I really regret. Or they're not forced to be there with me when I just want to really finish a season of a show and they're tired and I just have to watch it because that's just, I love shows. But my sisters, I've learned just as much from them as I hope that they can learn half as much from me as I've learned from them. I think they learned a lot through my mistakes, but hopefully one day I can be the role model that they deserve. Thank you.
I'm doing well, how are you?
Good, good. So, if in 10 years you could achieve anything, one thing, what would you choose and why?
Thank you for your question. I have a second to think about my answer. Thank you. Okay, so in 10 years, if I could only accomplish one thing, it would be to make my parents proud. Because my parents, they immigrated to America from Vietnam, came here with nothing, they couldn't speak the language, they knew nobody, they didn't have their family, they were all split up, and it was their job to learn the ways of America, learn how to speak the language, how the culture even works, which side of the road to even drive on, and because they came here with that passion and that endurance and they met each other, they raised me to be a strong, independent student, woman, female that aspires many goals that I don't even know if I can reach myself, but I want to make them proud because they came here to provide for me. They came here to provide for my siblings. They don't come to my shows very often. They don't come to practices. I had to hitch rides for my friends, but I understood because they were always working. They're always working to make sure that I was successful, that I got the education I deserve, to get the job that I want, any job that I could ever aspire to get. And they did it all for me. So in 10 years, I hope to make my parents proud.